What's up, guys? This is But For Real Though. Episode 4. My name is Robert.
Kyle.
Rohan.
Alex.
And Nonah.
The topics are cutting people off, when to do it, how to do it, what's the right time to do it, why are you mad? We're going to talk about that. Last night, what happened? And then we're also going to talk about Thanksgiving. You know, if you're going on break, if you're not, and just relax. Just take your time.
Cutting someone off is like a temporary thing. Like, you could come back, and if I cut you out, that's like I took my scissors and I just snipped around your picture and I'm not exist no more.
That's like
I don't want to
you just cropped out.
Pretty much, yeah.
You cropped out for the rest of eternity.
For the rest of eternity.
It's a wrap. You get thrown away. I don't pay attention to you. I don't talk to you on social media. You no longer exist to me.
Now there's levels of cutting people off, and like there's ways to do it where like it's not hurtful, like there's no hard feelings, and then there's ways where like you can do it and it literally shatters somebody's like.
Well, it really depends on
how
they take it.
Yeah,
it really depends because nowadays I feel like people are real sensitive to what's real. So I feel like if you cut somebody off and they take it the wrong way, it's just like, bro, it's nothing personal. It's just.
I mean, it is personal.
I mean, it is personal, but it's just I can't fuck with you no more.
I mean, it's personal to you because you're reaching a stage in your life where you want to branch out and meet new people, and see new things that are going to propel you into your overall success in life. Mm-hmm. And it's honestly not like that bad of a thing to just break relationships.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
Like, say like your childhood friends, like y'all have childhood friends that y'all mess with throughout y'all growth in life and stuff like that, and then you go to like college or something and y'all stop talking. But it's not like it's not.
But
like,
that's not.
no.
Okay, hold up. Yeah, let him finish.
No. And you go to college and like y'all don't talk as much. That's not really cutting them off. Mm-hmm. That's just just like leaving them where they are, and then going on about your life.
You're in a different stage of your life at that point. But cutting someone off or cutting someone out of your life is a very deliberate thing. It's not a happenstance. It's not like, oh, we don't talk no more. I'd be like, because I don't talk to some of my best friends for months at a time, but then when we talk.
Exactly.
And we would like, if I cut someone out, I'm deliberately like, they call me, I'm gonna see they're calling, and I'm gonna cancel the call because I don't want to talk to that person ever again. Mm-hmm. Or I don't want to talk to that person at the moment. Yeah. Like, that's kind of how I view it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I think I've only ever had like one level of cutting like people off. Like if I cut somebody off, they're cut off. I'm never just like, no, I'm not just going to fucking be like that anymore or anything like that. I'm always just like, that's it. Like we're done. Because like for me, I'm the type of person that doesn't like let a lot of stuff go, if that makes sense. But it's more like, okay, now I understand like how this relationship is going to work a little bit more going forward. So like I'm not going to be like, all right, you kind of mess this up when I ask you to do this. I'm not going to ask you to do those type of things anymore. Like, is that, I don't know if I would call that cutting it off, but it's gotten to that point a couple of times. Like, I went to high school with this kid, and I thought we were really, really good friends. And then after, like, we left, and sort of towards the end of senior year, I kind of realized he really wasn't all that great of a friend to me. And after we left, I definitely cut him off because, like, you weren't there for me in, like, that kind of way that I thought. But I guess that's, so for me, I don't have, like, levels. It's just, that's it. There's only one.
Yeah. Sometimes it has to be like that.
It really does.
But like at the same time, like you gotta let them know that it's like it's really not that big of a deal. Like you're just trying to move on in life, and you're just trying to, like break off certain aspects of your life that doesn't fit anymore.
I mean, but sometimes you don't have a conversation. When you cut people off, sometimes it's not having that conversation. Sometimes it's you might get in an argument with somebody, and then it's like, okay, I see how things are now. I'm just not going to talk to this person for a while. You know, and that's just it. So sometimes you don't get like the luxury of sitting down with somebody and being like, look, I can't really fuck with you like how I used to anymore, and here are the reasons why. It's hardly ever like that, honestly.
Honestly, every time I've been cut off like a couple of people, and generally it's because I was preparing to cut them out of my life for a temporary amount of time.
Yeah.
And they came at me sideways, and I was like, okay, goodbye forever. And that was, I never spoke to them ever again. I didn't care. And I think also a really big thing people gotta understand, someone cuts you off, don't get mad about it. Don't get mad, don't get sad about it. Because the thing is that, I mean, it's okay to be sad, but like don't it's okay to be sad, but don't make it your personal, don't become that person's enemy. Like if that person cuts you off, you don't matter to them if they cut you off. You don't matter to them. So nothing you do really has an impact. Nothing you say really has an impact, because they're not, if they're an adult and they're really cutting you off, you pretty much become a ghost to them. You might as well be dead.
Shit.
All right.
I mean, I was gonna segue.
Wednesday.
Oh shit.
Wednesday, Nonah.
I was gonna use what you said as a segue into saying like you gotta keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah.
That's like a phrase that I've always lived by. But goddamn, you might as well be dead. Shit. That's like some Channel 5 shit. Like, that's a death wish.
I mean, like, physically, I mean, like relationship-wise, like you interact with them, like they're a memory in your life. They're no longer something that's like, I wonder how so-and-so. Nah, I remember so-and-so.
I remember what they did. That motherfucker.
That's a good point, because I feel like if you get cut off by somebody, don't become their enemy after that, because then after that that just turns into a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not a bad thing that I cut you off. Like it's good. It could be good. It's definitely good for me because I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. But it could be good for you. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I
feel like cutting people off is always, well, not always, but more often than not, it's going to be healthy for you in that situation. That's something that you've kept, because I feel like we're all reasonable. Like it's something that you sat back and thought about and be like, yo, this person or this situation or whatever is going on in your life is not conducive to living a healthy lifestyle for you anymore. And even if it's like temporary, even if it's like this month or these 2 months, like I can't be around you because this is what you're doing right now, or this is what I'm going through and I can't be around you during this time, then it's always going to be like a healthy thing. Yeah. But my question is like, when is it okay to like let them back in? Like do cut, like you were saying, like they might as well be dead to you. Is that it for them? Like they gone.
Well, it's like I said, it's a difference. There's a difference between cutting someone out and cutting someone off. If I cut you out, you're dead to me. If I cut you off, it's a situation where if I ever feel like, oh, I wonder how so and so's doing, I'm gonna take up on them. And if I feel like we're talking and I feel like they're conducive, like he's saying, conducive to my lifestyle, how it is now, then yeah, because I'll let them back in my life. Or we can see where we can move from there. Mm-hmm. But that I want to get clear, like cutting someone out is a finalizing thing. Like if I say you're out of my life, I'm done with you, I'm not talking to you again. Mm-hmm. You won't ever hear from me again. Gotcha. You won't ever hear me. I could be at death's door, and you could have the cure. You could know the answer to the cure I need. I'm like, I'm gonna die anyway.
Damn, you just wouldn't take it.
That could be.
Oh shit! Yes. Oh my god!
Oh my fucking god!
That kind of seemed like a lot.
That seems a little harsh, bro. To be honest.
I'm also okay.
But like, if somebody there to like, if somebody's coming to help you and are like trying to,
I mean, it's like come to help me
out, like to you, you're gonna just be like, no, like what you did is
Donald Trump shit.
Well, no, it's not. I don't know. It's not. Sometimes, but the thing is that sometimes for me, it's not just. Sometimes it's not what the person does to me. It's just
I feel that, but I'm saying like, I'm just like, I feel like that person would have to like kill your mom or something like that for you to like not want to talk to them like that.
So it sounds like you don't do cutting people off or cutting people out lightly.
No, I don't. But I don't do it I don't cut many people out of my life.
How many people would you say have been cut out of your life?
Like 2 or 3.
See, okay.
Why you say that so softly?
It was like only 2 or 3. I said that before. I've said like 3 times.
Oh, you did?
He did say 3 times.
I got it in amnesia.
Everybody on this couch. I'm not listening. Anyway, like I said, you remember what I said?
That's
That's a Donald Trump shit. I said that because Mexico tried to help out with fucking Houston for the hurricane
They
relief.
did they?
No.
They didn't.
No,
Donald Trump was like,
told him
no,
not to.
don't come over here and help us out. So that's why I said that. Y'all was looking at me sideways like, what?
Oh, really? That was very
But I had to explain myself, so there we go.
That's being petty, because that's Donald Trump being petty. Like, if I cut you out and you come to me and you like really work and try to show me that, hey, I want to be in your life and I want to be a positive influence, I'm gonna let you back in. But like, if I cut you out, we would never have that conversation. That communication would never happen. Like, it wouldn't be an option.
Like, sometimes, like, there's people that has been in your life that cut you off.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And if you, like, you gotta know when it's the right time to, like, say something to that person. Like, be like, hey, like, how's it been, man? Like, shit like that. Like, if you see him on the street, like, say what's up, and that person actually says what's up back.
I'm not saying be rude to them.
No,
like,
no.
if I see them, I'm gonna acknowledge them. Kind of thing. But like, for all intents and purposes, they're not a relevant part of my life.
Yeah, like I feel what Rob is saying, because I've been cut off from people before, and I've like gone through and like kind of evaluated like, why is that? Like, why is a certain person not fucking with me? And then I've like realized my faults and be like, hey, during this situation, like these are the things I was going through. I know that's not an excuse for me to have like done what I did to you, and I know I probably like hurt your feelings or whatever. But like, can we have a conversation about it? And they've been like, yeah. And some people have been like, no, like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's like, okay, well, I reached out, I tried. Like, sometimes that's all you can really do. But at the end of the day, like Rob said, if you get cut off, like, it's not really a big deal to try to reach out and try to mend bridges.
Yeah, it's okay to try and mend bridges.
Yeah.
It's fine, and you don't. And the thing is that's completely okay, and that's completely fine. That's why I say there's a difference between cutting someone out of your life and cutting someone off. If I cut you off, that's not a conversation. If I cut you out, you can. But the thing is that I've been cut off before, and I've sent a person, someone that cut me out of their life. I sat down, I wrote them a letter, and I mailed it to them. If they wanted to to talk to me and figure out how to fix our relationship, that's their choice. But I extended the hand. I've extended a olive branch. I gave them the opportunity to. I didn't force them to. I didn't like walk up to them in the street like, hey, yo, I want to talk to you. I was like, hey, I wrote you a letter. I said exactly what I felt, and I sent it off. If they contact me back, they contact me back. If they don't, I've done all I could. I'm not gonna get mad at them for rejecting my friendship or anything.
Yeah. It's funny because I saw this quote. It's actually sitting in my girlfriend's room. It's like right next to her computer. It says, "Let the bridges that you burn light the way." And I saw that as some really insightful shit, because like, you can like cut people off and it'll still not affect your life in a matter where it's detrimental to you. Like, it doesn't have a negative effect on you if you take somebody toxic out of your life, because that's just removing a dead branch off the tree, and you're still going to grow as an individual, just not with that person around. And that's perfectly fine. Yeah. But like, at the same time, I feel like if you cut somebody off and they try to come back into your life, they might not even want to come back into your life like for good. They just want to help you out in your current situation and then move on. Either have that conversation after they do that and then move on with their life, or just do what they gotta do and then move on without saying a thing.
I feel like you gotta realize that a lot of people that you meet aren't the type of people that are going to be there forever. Like, there's absolutely the people that are going to be there for you for sometimes even the rest of your life, or for a lot longer than others. But there's people that you will meet for like seasons of your life, stages of your life that you enter into. Like
Rob said a couple of weeks ago, like there's some people that are in your life for a season. You gotta let them leave once the season ends.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think a lot of people fall into like a trap where, not really a trap, but like a negative kind of spiral where they had these connections with these people during like this season that they had with them, or this stage that they've gotten this close relationship with. Something may have happened that you guys have cut each other off or out or whatever, and they're caught looking back trying to like maintain or rebuild or mend that relationship that they have, and it's not going to happen. Like
a lot of people try to recreate situations too.
Yeah.
And that's just like, like it's one thing that I really hate is I'll go downtown a lot and I'll see a lot of people from like the hall that I lived in freshman year, and they're like, oh, like what's up? Yeah, they're like, oh, you remember those days? And I'm like, I haven't lived there in like 4 years, and I hung out with y'all like maybe twice when I was actually there. Why are you still talking to me about this?
And then you just sit there like,
yeah. And then it's just like, like I don't want to have a fake conversation with people. Exactly.
It was fucking 4 years ago, bro.
Exactly. Like
I don't give a fuck what happened. I'm at a bar now, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like people
we're more grown now.
A lot of people get caught living in the past and trying to like recreate situations from the past or whatever, and being like, oh, you remember this? And it's like, yeah, I do, but like I'm a different person then. Like you don't know shit about me now.
Yeah.
Like
I think another thing is that a lot of people, they don't let people go because of that very same reason. They don't want to let go of the past. They'll have an experience, a really fun experience, a really happy experience with this group of people, and we all grow. Yeah. And then I've seen people grow out of their friends. Obviously have grown out of their friends, but are still with them. And it's just like, you don't really fit in. It's like, yeah, I know, but like, I've known them for years. And it's like, that's fine and dandy, but like, don't limit yourself to the situation to your past. Look at your future and look to broaden it, not to keep it as narrow.
But at the same time, though, like, I've had the situation where like, there was a guy I was playing music with a lot. We went to like different venues and like different concerts and stuff that we had, and so like I was with him all the time, playing music and stuff. And eventually, like our just personalities kind of clashed, as it does like with music and stuff. But really, it was just because I was trying to be very like logical about things. Like, hey, look, we got to do this and this and this, and he just was not doing that whatsoever. And so it got very frustrating on me to try to have to pick up that end of the slack all of the time. And so after a while, I had to cut him out. Like I had to just be like, yo, we can't really be doing this like this. But every so often he'll be like, hey, listen, we could go play music here or do this kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, yeah, absolutely. Because when we were playing music together, I loved doing it. And we had a great kind of like rapport in that situation. But each time I go in there, it's kind of like me like going to the door like, like, hey, have you caught up yet? Like, are you a fully functioning adult or whatever? Yet or not? And it's always been me having to shut the door back again. Just be like, nah.
And there's also a point of professional and personal situations. Sometimes you gotta cut people out professionally, and you don't have to cut those. And when you cut someone off professionally, you don't have to cut that person off personally. Like you can have someone that's a really close friend to you, go into business, things don't work out, or that person, like in his situation, they don't mesh well as a team as far as music goes. You cut that person off professionally, but personally, I enjoy playing music with you. I'm down to do that, but don't expect to get the band back together and go on and do tours.
Kind of direction.
But like some people are in your life personally, and like, because I've seen it happen where people they'll be in a professional relationship with a person, and that doesn't pan out, and so they go into a friendship, but then one of them or both of them constantly try to make the professional relationship work, and then it ends up eating away at their personal relationship.
Right.
That's very true.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always like a sad thing when things don't work out between people, because that's just how life goes. Like, you know, things could probably not work out with you and your parents. Like, they probably want you to like live a certain life and do certain things in your life that they did just because they want you to be like them, and shit just doesn't feel right for you because you're a completely different person. And I'm not saying you're gonna cut your parents off and shit like that, but I'm just saying don't ever do that. But I'm just saying, like, there's
don't ever.
There are some issues. I've seen some parents that are just like, I've had to tell some friends, like, you need your parents or you need to cut your parents off because they're kind of leeching off of you. That's also for older people, like in their like mid 30s, and their parents are like 50 and stuff.
They're not doing their life right.
I mean, I just feel like
that's a whole nother pod for me.
That's another.
That's a whole nother pod for me.
That's a whole nother topic, bro. That's a whole nother topic.
We're gonna leave that to that.
But for real though, we need to talk about when to cut a person off.
Yeah.
Like,
what situations
Yeah.
are acceptable? Obviously, when it's not like a healthy thing, you gotta cut them out.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Carl.
There's a lot of different situations, but from what I went through, I was starting to get into a relationship with my now girlfriend, and I considered her my sister, my little sister, and ever since I started dating her, she's been like, "Yo, you're like basically like spending more time with her than with me," and I'm just like, "Bro, you're my sister. This shouldn't be an issue. Like, I'm trying to build a relationship with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build something dope, great. You feel
Something
me?
that lasts. Yeah.
Something that lasts.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's definitely something that has to deal with cutting somebody out or cutting somebody off. Because it was just levels on levels on levels on levels. You know what I'm saying?
What it's
other relationships.
If it affects other relationships, then that's definitely a time to cut somebody out for sure.
Yeah.
That's just me personally, because it's like you're fucking up what I have got going on.
Yeah.
Something good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just levels on levels.
Yeah.
And a good one. When a good time to cut someone off is when they stop respecting you as like a person. When they start either treating you like you like an object, or as though when a person stops respecting you as a person, they just don't see you as an equal to them. That's a good time, because when that happens, that one of two things either happens: either that person is going to continue to treat you worse as time goes on, or it's gonna blow up and both parties are just gonna end up disliking each other.
Yeah.
Or entire friend groups might get broken up over that.
Yeah. And like the way I've treated friend groups, like growing up, and this sounds super, super cheesy, but it's like a metaphorical concept that I like adapted as I moved on in my life. Like, each friend group you have is like the shell of a hermit crab. Like, you go about your life and you do these things and like you experience these things, and then there comes a certain point in your life where you outgrow that shell. You outgrow that entire part of your life, and you just gotta let go of it and then pick up a new thing that's gonna, help you go further on in life. So yeah, like I said, it sounds cheesy as fuck, but it makes so much sense. And I'm glad that I picked up that concept, because since freshman year of college, I've been through friend group, and now I'm here. And I mean, hopefully I don't grow out of you guys. this is dope. But I mean, we're gonna move on in life.
It's also different now because we're all grown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we know what we want in friendships.
Yeah. There's a lot of changes that happen between you're like 18 and where we are now.
Exactly.
Like,
and this is what I was gonna say for like my reason for cutting people off. I think it's a fundamental thing. When somebody doesn't have values that are fundamental to who you are as a person, like to your core, like you should honestly just believe them for that. Like, if somebody is showing me that they're a disloyal person, you shouldn't really just be kind of like getting over that or being like, oh, that's just one instance. Oh, that's one situation. When somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them every single time they do. Mm-hmm. So that's my whole thing. If you value trust and honesty and you're friends with somebody who tells little white lies, that's a red flag. That's somebody who you should probably honestly be looking out for. Yeah. Exactly. And you should look to be cutting them off, because when push comes to shove, there might be a situation where they'll be dishonest to you where it's really crucial. And that's a situation where you don't want to be in. So if you see things like that, you should nip it in the bud real quick.
Actually, I got to elaborate on what Rob said. We were in the same friend group our freshman year, and it was about about my sophomore year.
I'm just laughing because I know.
He knows what I'm talking about. I was a very angry 18, 19-year-old. I was going through shit emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And just the littlest shit would make me mad. So I said something on Rob's Instagram that was totally uncalled for. And then he texted me like, "Yo, man, for real?" And I was like, "Yeah." Straight up. I was like, "Yeah, straight up." I feel like going back all the way, 3 years ago? Almost 3 years ago. I feel like that's what we both needed as kind of people to really like, okay, like I'm not really fucking with him right now. And he saw that I'm not really fucking with him either. So, I mean, now it's just, and when did I text you? I don't know. Sometime a couple years ago? Last year?
Oh yeah. It was
like June. It was like last year or something like that. I mean, I never really cut him off of social media or anything, because I also follow him on Instagram and Twitter and shit like that. I was like, man, like me and like what happened with me and Rob? You feel me? Like I feel like I had to grow out of that. You know what I'm saying? Out of my what I was going through. And like I just texted him like, hey man, like I truly apologize for what I said. You know what I'm saying? I was going through shit. You know that. And he completely understood. And then ever since then, it's just like nothing ever happened. You feel me? So it's just going back to getting back into somebody's life. It's just really timing is everything, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's just, very, very true. You really have to mature in order to forgive someone, and if you really want to get back into that person's life. You know, so.
And like the time when to cut somebody off in situations like that is when they're not mature enough to understand the fact that you're sincere. Whatever you're saying, like your apology and whatever scenario that y'all went through as friends or as a friend group, like if it comes to a misunderstanding and then you try to figure out like do they hate me for that, or like do they not? Like it's like when you have that conversation with that person, if they're not mature enough to be like, yeah, like I understand that this and this happened, but like why? Like why did that happen? And like y'all have a conversation. Like if that's not how it goes, then just be like, yo, like okay, like you're not understanding what I'm saying, so there's no point in like continuing this conversation. And that's just when that bridge has to be like snapped off.
I agree with you. Like I feel like for me, as far as like friendship goes, like if you're my friend and I call you like my friend, especially if you're one of my best friends, that's a thing that just because of like my background and stuff like that, and just the way that I was raised and my values and stuff like that, if like you're my friend and my best friend, that's something that I hold, like that means a lot to me. And so I'm always going to give like that person who's the question like the benefit of the doubt in a lot of situations. Like, yo, like you really kind of like fucked me over in the situation, but like to me, I'm like, you're my friend and I'm gonna be there for you, but I'm gonna tell you like why we have a problem right now and why this is so crucial to me. And it's in that conversation that we have where they're just like, if they could be like, yo bro, I'm really sorry, like yeah, I really understand, like that maturity aspect, or sometimes they're like, yeah dude, how that was funny, right? Or blah, 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 like whatever their reaction is to it, and I'm like, cool, got it. Like that's, I know everything I need to know. And it's really that conversation that I have with them. I'm always the type of person to bring it up like, yo, you gotta fuck me over on this one, and I'll ask them about it, and it's from that conversation that I'm like, we can go this way or we can go that way, but I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with it right now.
Also from my perspective, because I guess like not all of us cut people out completely. A very big thing when you're thinking about cutting someone off and when you do it is to not be angry. And so like make sure when you decide to cut someone off, you do it when you're calm. So you will, because if you're angry and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna cut this person off, this person pissed me off, whatever. Speaking from emotion. Yeah, you're speaking from emotion, but like if you wait, don't do it then. Wait till you're calm. Because if you're calm, like this person's like, I don't really want this person in life. I don't see the benefit of having this person in life, and I don't see anything coming from being friends with them. Then that's like, okay, maybe cutting them off is the best idea. Because like you said, if you are thinking from emotion and reacting from emotion, emotions fade sometimes. You could be angry about something and or you might be in an angry place in your life. Right. And then once you calm down, you're like, oh, that was kind of pointless. I burned a bridge to no benefit, kind of thing.
And at that point, it's now their decision to either come back or not. If you're like, yo, look, I did that out of anger, I did that out of spite, or I was just really upset, and I cut you off. That's not your decision anymore. Like, you cut them out, and now they understand it's their decision to come back or not. You don't have any control over that because of something that you did while you were so upset.
It's important to understand that too, that when you do cut someone off, for them to come back in your life, that's not your decision. You don't get to cut someone off and be like, I want you back in my life. That is a very, very big point. Because I've seen some people cut people out and then be like, and then when they're like, oh, I made a mistake, it was wrong of me, and they'll come back and then they're like, and when you say, well, I don't really feel like having you back in my life, I don't see the benefit, they get mad because like, oh, well, that was right for me, because it was like, well, you're the one who just came back to me, so. They
expect it to be like exactly like they didn't do any of the shit that they just did. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, like I was upset, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, but you still did that. Like, now I understand. And I did some thinking during that time as well, where you thought this and want to come back. Now I realize, you know what, I'm better off without it. Or it could go the other way and you're like, yeah, that was fucked up, but we can still be friends. It just really depends, and it's subjective, of course. But there's a lot of variables. So just keep a level head when you do it.
You know. Final thoughts?
I'm good.
Yeah? Yeah. I just feel like you got to know when it's the right time to act upon situations where you need to cut somebody off, or when you know that like your life is changing and there's things that you need to get rid of, and you just got to be an adult about it, regardless if you're being the person that's cut off or if you're having to cut somebody else off. And that's just how it is. That's just the realness about it. But yeah, that's cutting people off. That's the art. It is an art form, trust me. So, I got a question for y'all. Why are y'all mad?
I'm very mad. I'm very mad. So, we know GQ came out with Citizen of the Year, Man of the Year, whatever.
There we go.
So congratulations to Colin Kaepernick for getting Citizen of the Year.
Congrats.
Honestly, very, very, very deserving. I saw on Twitter, probably like a couple hours, maybe the day, I don't fucking know, when it was already set who was Citizen of the Year, and people were tweeting saying about JJ Watt, and you know, high praise to JJ Watt for what he did to Houston with the hurricane and stuff.
Yeah. Donated millions.
He helped raise $37 million for Houston, and I thought that was unbelievable. Yeah. But they were discrediting Colin Kaepernick for what he did for his community, for the black community, for the urban community, for basically not just black people, but
people in need,
people of ethnicities.
Yeah.
He helped us.
Yeah.
And they just did not give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, there was this tweet of JJ Watt saying an NFL meme said, when you raise $37 million for hurricane victims, but Colin Kaepernick is given Citizen of the Year award.
Wait, he posted that?
No, it's an NFL meme. Okay. Yeah.
NFL memes Twitter account.
And then another one.
That's not.
I'm sorry.
That was a bad meme.
It's not even a meme, bro. Fuck. And then another one that said GQ magazine named Colin Kaepernick its Citizen of the Year, a man who is unemployed and once wore socks depicting cops as pigs. Welcome to America in 2017. That one really made me angry because
why though?
First of all, the reason why he is kneeling for the flag, he's not trying to disrespect the military. He's not disrespecting the flag. It's the fact that black people are continuously being oppressed in this country. And it's like, how else do you want him to do it? This is a peaceful protest. You feel me? This is a peaceful protest. And I feel like obviously people don't understand. like clearly. But what this man did for the urban community, I'll just say urban community. Let's see. He has donated $1 million of his own money. Keep in mind, he's unemployed. So of his own money to schools, mental health treatment, job training, and criminal justice reform. And he's been doing this for at least more than a year. For more than a year.
He's been a true activist.
And it's just like, I truly don't understand like why people are angry about Colin Kaepernick. Like,
at the end of the day, they're going to see what they want to see.
Yeah.
True.
The video's going to portray it in a way where it seems like people are given a negative voice.
Yeah.
Based on, past actions or stuff like that like doesn't seem right to most people, especially in America. Yeah. America likes to twist the media and like
especially
throw different things out there that doesn't make any sense at all.
It's very true. They'll be like, oh, he's doing this. Well, let me tell you about this tweet he did 7 years ago. Let's talk about that. It makes no sense.
It also really just sucks because living in the era we do where everybody's attention span seems to be shortened, it's the worst because I had a conversation with somebody about this and I was like, did you even watch the video on why he explains why he's kneeling? And they were like, no, it was like 20 minutes long. I'm not going to watch that. And I was like, well, how do you know? I was like, exactly. And how do you know?
Like, people were giving him death threats and shit. And he was just saying, killing me is exactly why I'm kneeling. It's just proving my point of what this country has come to.
So I want to make a point. So first and foremost, my dad's military, and I intend to join the military right after I get out of college. I also played football from the time I was 5 until the time I was 17. From the time I was 5 to the time I was 17, I did not start kneeling for the Pledge of Allegiance until my sophomore year. The NFL, and not too many people actually know this, NFL, the United States of America had to pay the NFL to have its players stand during national anthem because they didn't do it. They paid. It is a contract that the NFL signed for their. They made money for their players to stand. So for me, for a lot of people that are sitting here and making and saying these all how bad it is for Colin Kaepernick, first and foremost, it's his freedom of speech. That's what they fight for. That's what my dad went off to Afghanistan and sat on a boat and didn't see his family for 6 months, for a year. That's what he went off to fight for. He didn't go off to fight for people for a flag. He went to fight for people's right to express themselves in a peaceful manner. That being said, the thing is, something else that people don't know is Colin Kaepernick kneeling was something that was an idea he got from a veteran. Because Green Beret, because at first he was sitting, the Green Beret is mad. The Green Beret messes Kaepernick. Kaepernick saw it. He didn't take it offensively. He met with the man. The man was like, hey, I feel like sitting is disrespectful. Maybe you can do something else. And he worked around kneeling. If you are in the military, you kneel. It's a thing that people do. It's a thing I've seen plenty. If you are at a military cemetery, a lot of people are kneeling and praying, or just kneeling at the gravestones. It's a normal thing. People really you gotta stop taking everything offensively. And the thing is that for me personally, if you are not in the military, have no intention of joining the military, and have no family that is actively serving or has actively serving, you have no right to say anything about disrespect. Because I know people who get out of the military, get out of the Air Force, not the Air Force. Air Force is, they're set, but they're because they're very educated. The Army, the Marines, the Navy. I see people get out, can't find a job anywhere. They're sitting around, and you see a lot of homeless people. People have tons of terrible things to say about homeless people. Most of those people fought in a war. They fought in the Iraq War. Some of them fought in the Vietnam War. Some of them fought in World War, the Persian Gulf. These people fought in wars, put their lives on the line. A lot of them lost limbs, can't have PTSD, have have problems that they're dealing with 20, 30 years later. And we can't provide them the help they need, but we can complain about a guy not standing for a pledge to allegiance, which technically, if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to, if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to pledge allegiance to anything but God. So if you consider yourself a Christian, you're acting unchristian-like by pledging allegiance. And if you have the audacity to threaten a person for speaking out what they believe, how are you even American? That's not what America's about. America's about choice. America's about it's about the American dream, being who you want to be, doing what you feel like you have to do for the betterment of your country, not for the betterment of your people, not for the benefit of your race, but the benefit of your country. Right. And the thing is that Kaepernick, on top of all and the thing is, I looked into Kaepernick a while back because I'm always interested. Kaepernick has not just done any things for the United States. Kaepernick's helped out I can't remember a country, it was a country in Africa. Yep. He raised and got them basic needs and sent them water and food to other countries in Africa. He's done so much for so many people. Like, there are people alive today that can legitimately say, I would be dead if not for Colin Kaepernick. Yeah. And the thing is that me and Alex both lived in Texas. And the thing is that people were being told, a lot of people that were still in Texas, I understand where you stayed, I do. Like, people have things that they have. But the thing is, a lot of times, I know for a fact, I have family living in Houston. And one of my uncles, he was staying with not one of my uncles. I call him my uncle, but he's just he's like a family friend. Mm-hmm. He left Houston, moved to Dallas. As soon as they started saying, hey, it might start flooding, and they're like, hey, it could be really bad. He was like, okay, I probably shouldn't stay here, and he left. Mm-hmm. And it's really great what JJ did with raising that much money and doing everything he did. That's wonderful. But at the same time, that's what you're supposed to do when a disaster hits and you are capable. Yeah. That's not you going out of your way. You see people that have a need, that have an immediate need, like these people just lost their homes. Okay, they need help now. Mm-hmm. But Kaepernick was just, he saw something wrong in the world and he was like, I'm gonna do something to fix it, even though it's not a big, even though it's technically it's not considered a big deal. He's changing people's lives because he wants to change, he wants to make their lives better. Not for the moment, not to make their situation easier, but to improve it. Mm-hmm. That was a tangent, but
it was good.
I love we said a lot of stuff there real quick, so if you guys ever want to come and talk to us, follow us on Twitter and stuff like that, and please, we'd love to hear your suggestions and stuff. Yeah. Just anything you guys are feeling after, everything that's been said.
And if you don't agree, let us know. If you do agree,
I'm more than willing to have a conversation with anybody.
Absolutely,
because that's how you learn. That's how you grow. You can't grow if I don't hear what you. If I can't grow as a person, or I can't know how you feel about when I'm saying what your opinion is if you never tell me.
Yeah. Yep.
Very true.
So hit us up on Twitter, BFRT Podcast 1, or comment on this YouTube video. Let us know. We'd love to hear your voice. But that's why we're mad.
Let's take a quick break, man.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break from the seriousness.
Yeah.
From the seriousness, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about last night.
So this past weekend, there was a function, a party that we all happened to go to. And then during this party, the police showed up. We weren't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. But evidently there were some people who should not have been drinking or were underaged. And so a friend of mine went to the restroom to use it because she was like, I gotta pee. I'm gonna go sit down.
I gotta pee.
And so while she's in the restroom, a bunch of these underage kids, I will call them children, they barge into the restroom, and then they just yell at my friend to keep it down and to not make a lot of noise. And she's like, oh, I'm not 21. She's like, I am 21, so I'm gonna leave. And then, wait, hold on. But because they were so scared, they held her hostage for like 2 or 3 minutes. And they wouldn't let her speak or say anything, and they just kept shushing her. Now, I'll be like
He
everyone.
sounds so hurt.
Now, I'll be
They
like,
just kept shushing her.
and so
No more locked doors.
and so okay, and so like things with the person who owns the house goes and speaks to police. He comes back inside. He comes back and he's talking to police. Everyone else in the house, that's over 20. We're already conversating. We're not being super loud, but we're like chilling. And I guess they, even after that point where they could hear us speaking and having fun and starting up again, they still wouldn't let her go. They just kept her in there. I guess some of them were crying. I guess some of them were really hurt. Some were really scared. The moral of the story is, let people go.
Also, if someone's in the, if the bathroom door is locked, knock first.
Not even if it's closed.
This whole situation could have been avoided if they knocked. That's all you needed to do.
That's all you need. It's just 5 seconds out of your life.
Don't just barge in the restroom. Because to be completely honest, if it had been me, I would have took a shit in the bathroom. Oh no! I'm like, y'all gonna shush me? I'll make some noise. Y'all ain't gonna like it. But she's not. Don't barge in the restroom if I'm trying to use it.
Nigga, no!
Don't barge in the restroom if I'm trying to use it. I don't care what situation's going on. Don't barge in the restroom. They'll never do it again. I bet they'll never do it again.
They won't, probably.
They won't.
That's for damn sure. God damn.
Knock on the bathroom door. If something's happening, knock on the bathroom door. Don't just barge in. And if the person doesn't want to be around you anymore, let them leave. Let my people go.
Let my people free. Free my homies.
And that is what happened last night.
Free little Pookie.
All right.
God damn.
Locked doors.
No more locked doors. Gracias.
Oh, boy.
Hey, shout out to Friday for that quote.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. My bad. Next Friday.
I didn't watch that movie.
If you haven't saw the Friday series, please.
At least see the first two.
Yeah.
Evaluate your life first of all. If you haven't seen it by this point.
I know.
Friday
Are you like?
My bad. It's a miss for me.
Are you black and haven't seen Friday? We evaluate your life.
No, don't reevaluate. Just go see it.
I mean, clearly you've been.
Just don't let nobody know that you haven't seen it yet.
That's difficult. I don't know how you went. It's
Even
on
if you're not
TBS.
black, just go watch
It's on
it.
Yeah, that's
ABC.
true. It's
always
hard
on
to not see it.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's a memorable movie.
Especially during like
Everybody
this
talks
time of the
about
year. For some reason, I never quite.
Friday After Next.
Friday After Next is always on. Because
Well,
it's
Friday
technically
After
a
Next.
Christmas movie.
Is it technically?
It is technically
Santa
a Christmas
robbed
movie.
him.
My question is,
Santa Claus, Daddy.
my question is, when are they going to drop last Friday?
They're not.
They're not.
It's not happening.
They've been talking about it for a good
Yeah, I'm
minute.
pretty sure that I'm pretty sure there was some problems. I don't know for a fact. I don't know for sure, but I think there was like problems between actors and then there's situations going
Bad
on.
Boys 3 been supposed to come out for like
Bad
4
Boys
years,
3.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't even.
Wait, question.
Who is it?
Who remembers Bad Boy 1?
I do. It's not great. It isn't great at all. It's all very weird.
second one is
they
better.
shoot angles like sideways. It's not
It's a
good.
very 90s, early 90s movie.
Yes, it is.
It's a very early 90s
I thought
action
it was
movie.
late 90s, bro.
It's shot like it's from the early
Yeah.
90s.
That's a problem. It came
Bad
out in
Boys
99
2, though.
or
Bad
something.
Boys 2 was a
Bad Boys
That was
classic.
really good. Are you sure it came out? I feel like it came out like
Fresh Prince was like 97?
pretty
Between
sure it
97
came
and
out-
99. I don't know.
maybe.
Fact check.
Fact check. Go ahead, Alex. Anyway, that was last night, and then some.
1995.
So early?
Bad
Oh,
Boys.
okay.
That's
Okay.
mid-90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was I born?
Yeah, we were.
Was I
Yeah,
born
we
yet?
were
Oh,
born.
should be.
What
You
day?
should've
April
been
7th,
born.
1995.
I was not born.
Oh,
I wasn't
damn.
born
Born
yet.
yet either.
I wasn't born
Yeah.
either.
I was
Damn.
only
Was not born.
one.
Were you born, Austin?
Oh, you only one? Hey, I was the only one
That's 'cause you
alive.
No, I was too. I was born in 94.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
what's up?
hey. Oh, yeah.
October 94. Shout out to all my Libras. Anyway,
Like, it's Libra season.
But
Not
yeah.
anymore.
it's
was.
Scorpio
Season
season,
now.
yo.
Mm-hmm.
These Scorpios
Oh, shout out my
bold.
sister. Today is my sister's birthday. Hi, Chelsea. I love you very much. She watches the pod. I love her. She's turning 23 years old. She's 11 months older than me. She has a daughter. Shout out Melly. That's the only reason why I really talk to my sister, because I love my niece.
Why y'all put that up?
Happy
Oh,
birthday
shit.
to
I know
you.
my sister gonna
Well,
be mad.
since we're doing birthday shout, happy birthday to my brother Nick, 30 years old, the big 3-0. So make sure you're being safe. Love you, bro.
November 15th.
November
Sibling
15th.
birthdays. Hey.
If you ever have a birthday you want to shout out, just let us know.
We might get it on here.
We might.
We might.
It depends who you are, but we might.
It depends on who you are and if we see it.
That's true. That's very true.
Out of sight, out of mind.
All right.
Damn.
What's the next topic?
Moving on, y'all.
We're gonna talk about
Them phones. Social media. Your relationship.
We just gonna cut this part out. What are we
we
talking about?
gonna we're gonna cut this short. We're not talking about we're too far in. So Thanksgiving's coming up, guys.
I'm excited.
Very excited.
I know we're all excited. I know you guys all are excited about Thanksgiving. You know, mostly for the food. Cause hey, we gonna grub, that's for sure. So yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up next week, next Thursday to be exact. A lot of people are going home. A lot of people are, staying in Flagstaff, and that's perfectly fine. You have a Friendsgiving, whatever they gotta do. If you got family here, be with your family. And to be honest, family is the most important thing when it comes to the holiday season, especially Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve. Because
anything you really celebrate.
Yeah, anything you really celebrate. So, what are y'all most excited for? Like, as far as like who are gonna see, or like what are you gonna do? Like, what are y'all most excited for?
I'm most excited for not having school or work or classes. Like, I've been busy nonstop for like the last 2 weeks.
That's very true.
Shame.
Finally get a
Excited
little
to
bit
have
of
a break. Maybe
Yeah,
sit down and
same.
actually play some video games.
Hey,
Some Gundam versus.
Yeah, for real. I haven't had a chance.
You actually
I'm
dot
sad.
dot slash
Oh,
slash.
yeah.
I've been
Have you seen
playing.
that trailer for like Shimura or whatever? It's
Oh,
like,
Shenmue 3. Is it Shenmue 3?
No. It's like a new one that's coming on PlayStation. It's like a Japanese, it's like a samurai thing. I'll show you later. This looks tight.
Oh, I do know. I don't know what you're talking about. I know. I don't know if I'll be in the country at the time though. I might be in the military.
It does.
That thing look tight.
I might miss God of War. That makes me sad.
Okay, I see. You're ready for relaxation. That's what you're ready
Yes.
for. Okay.
Oh my
How about you,
god.
Alex?
Me, I'm most excited for it. So, I'm from Texas, out of state, and there's like a lot of out of state kids that can't really like afford to go out for like this basically 3 days of vacation.
Yeah.
So ask around your friends, like I'm sure they're looking for a place to stay. So I'm mostly excited about. I get to go back with Rohan. I love to interact with other like families and see how they do it, and that's what I've been doing for the past few years. I've been blessed enough to have friends able to take me in, and I can go and eat with them. And so I'm really excited to experience like another family and be able to share something special with them.
What about you, Bo?
For me, this is a kind of special year for Thanksgiving. It's the first year that it's just going to be me and my sister doing Thanksgiving together. So I'm most excited to just kind of build new traditions with her. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to have my friends with me. Alex is going to come. Our friend Mendoza is going to be there. And I'm going to see a lot of friends from back home who I haven't seen in like over a year. And that'll be a very good time. But I'm mostly excited just because my niece is growing up real fast, and it'll just be really good to be able to spend some time with my sister because her life is changing. She's getting married soon, so it's going to be really cool to just spend some time with my sister, build some traditions with her, and make some memories.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me, I'm excited because I get to go down to the valley, to the Phoenix area with my girlfriend. Shout out to Al. But yeah, we're going down to hang out with her family and stuff like that, and like just be with each other for these 3 days and just enjoy each other's company. And I'm excited because I've never been to an Italian Thanksgiving, so like I want to I just know that it's something that I'm totally not used to, and like. And I'm completely open to it, so like I'm really excited to just like see how my girlfriend's family does it, and just be in the moment, man. Like stay off my phone, just get a break from life. Life on the go, and just be in the moment. That's what I'm most excited for.
True. I'm from Northern California, so I've been thinking about going home, but I am going home, and I'm very excited to see family I haven't seen in 2 years. 2-3 years. And I mean, to me, that's what the holiday is all about. It's just really seeing family. I mean, and eating, of course. I mean, Filipino family, fuck. I'm ready. I'm ready to eat like 30 pieces of lumpia. Fucking.
I don't even know what that is.
What that is?
Oh shit!
What they do that at?
It's like so what a lumpia is? It's basically an egg roll. It could be like there's meat in it, whatever meat you want, whatever. It could be vegetarian, so it could be a vegetarian one, but it's fried.
Okay.
And it's good as fuck.
Okay. That kind of reminds me.
That's all I gotta say.
Kind of reminds me of empanadas and stuff like that. Anyway, but yeah. So, if you're traveling and stuff like that, be safe, please, because anything can happen.
Exactly.
So don't take any moment during this break for granted, because things happen. So yeah, if you're traveling, be safe. If you're staying where you're at, still be safe, and just enjoy your family. And yeah, we're just gonna end it with that. So that was But For Real Though, episode 4. Hope to see y'all later. Have a good break, guys.